This is James Lupton for Round 8 Boxing, sponsored by Upton Clan Builders, and I'm joined by Dorian Darch. Dorian, how are you, mate?
Not too bad, buddy. Not too bad. How are you?
Good stuff. Yeah, very good. Thank you, mate. Very good. First question: why do you love to fight, Dorian?
Is when you're born in the valleys, but I think it's just in you. You've got to fight to survive. So it's just one of them things.
Well, my next question was, where did it begin for you? Is it something through childhood? It's a case of where you grew up. Was it quite rough, or?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I grew up on a council estate, but that's all I knew was a council estate. I didn't think it was rough. I still drive past there now. It doesn't seem rough to me. Like, people say council estates are rough, but it's what you make of them. I think, like, I've moved away from the council estate now, but I think over time they are getting worse because of the people they put in them and that. But when I lived on a council estate, everything was sound. So,
what's your earliest memory of having a fight?
I used to fight a lot in football, but if I'm honest, when I was growing up, but not so much as a kid, but when I started playing senior football, I don't know whether I had a chip on my shoulder because I'm playing against men or what, and they would try and push me about, and then I got a short fuse, even though I'm quite a nice bloke and a calm character. If someone takes the piss out of me, I won't argue with them or nothing. I'll just fucking put the head in them.
So a few sending offs for you then, Dorian.
Yeah, I think I held the record at one point in the Aberdeen League.
I want to go back to your professional gloved boxing career, first of all.
Yeah.
You won your first 6 fights before losing to Ian Lewis in the 7th. For you, was it ever a point where you considered yourself as a journeyman? Or if
that was the make or break fight, but to be honest with you, I was fighting journeyman, and the more journeyman you fight, like I was lucky, I always played football and rugby, so I had loads of friends, so I was a good ticket seller, but even your friends get fed up of watching you fight journeyman in the end, because they know it's only going to be one outcome. So I asked for the step up against Ian Lewison, and I wish I fucking hadn't, now, to be honest with you. I went to Essex, I think it was, and he fucking broke my jaw. I think it was in the 2nd round or 3rd round.
Yeah, Brentwood Leisure Centre, you fought Ian Lewis.
Yeah, that's right. But that's what I needed. And like, some people are deluded and say, oh, I'll fucking come again. But I knew when that was my level. So I just went on the road and just doing a couple of quid.
Was that a hard conversation to have with yourself to go on the road?
No, but to be honest, because like, some people are fucking, what do you want to say, are deluded and don't think they're better than what they is. But I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to fight Ian Lewison to see where I am. And I come up short, so I knew I weren't good enough to make it. So you may as well just make a couple of quid then.
Well, so you won your next fight after the Lewison fight. And then after that, you fought obviously a couple of undefeated fighters in Hughie Fury and Anthony Joshua. Looking back, first of all, on your pro glove career, what moment or fight are you most proud of and why?
Probably the Tom Little fight, but that was a good win for me. Probably one of my best wins. David Howe, another good win for me, even though they were both on home shows, but they were both boys who come to win, and I beat the both of them. So they probably I know it's not much to brag about, but they were big wins for me, you know what I mean? As a part-time fighter.
How hard, you mentioned a part-time fighter, how hard is it to be a part-time fighter and juggle work and family and etc.?
Work has always been my priority, but because I got a good job and everything, boxing is more like a hobby, a paid hobby, so it's always been second. And when I lost to Ian Lewis, I knew it'd always come as a second, so I just fitted boxing in around work rather than working around boxing, if you know what I mean.
Was it always a second priority when you first started, when you was winning your first 6 fights?
If it was make or break the Ian Lewison fight, where I would never have gone further than British level. I'm not that deluded, you know what I mean? But I could have earned a couple of quid of it. You know what I mean? Is other points again where I changed over to a trainer to Monkey, Chris Davis. I had a bit of a run again, and I was on the verge of a British title shot. But then I lost to, who's that Southpaw boy I lost to now? What's his fucking name? I can't remember his name, but I lost a close 8 rounder to him. But after that, there was a British title being talked about. And that would have been a career highlight fight for me. Even if I'd have lost, it would have been nice to have fought for the British title. I think was that tall Scottish guy? He held it at the time. What's his name now?
Cornish.
I can't think.
Gary Cornish?
Pardon? Cornish, yeah. So Cornish held the British title at the time, or it was vacant. And if I beat, what was his name? Southpaw was awkward. I thought I beat him in an 8 rounder on a home show, but the ref gave it to him. But it was nip and tuck either way. Like, I can't remember who it was.
Was it Chris Healy?
Chris Healy, that's right. Yeah, if I'd have beat him, there was talk of Saniga was my manager at the time, and there was talk of a British title eliminator or British title fighter. But I lost, so that was the end of that.
How frustrating or disappointing was that for you, knowing you were so close to a British title shot, which you wanted so bad?
And it was worse because I thought they actually won the fight. No, if I had got beaten like convincingly, it would have been too bad. But the fact that I thought I'd done enough, especially, I know you shouldn't say it, but especially on a home show, which people do tend to go towards a home fighter, I thought they'd done enough to win. But pointless crying over spilt milk. They give it to him, and that was the end of it. Back on the road.
Was that the most disappointed you've been in your career?
That's probably the most disappointed I've been. Close second to Ian Lewison, because I took 150 people to Essex and I got battered in front of them all. So that wasn't good.
In boxing, I always say if you're a good ticket seller, you'll do all right. For you, was the fact you could sell tickets, is that what kept you going, or was it a case of
I could have kept on selling tickets and kept on fighting journeymen and kept on winning if I want, but it's like you're lying to yourself and as well as your friends. I knew that I was good enough to beat journeymen, because a lot of journeymen don't come to win. Like, no, when I turned into a journeyman, I'd have a go for a round or two, but like some journeymen just come and cover up and just there to survive because they fight in the next week. I wouldn't be like that. I'd fight 3 times a year for half tidy money, so I'd have a go when I was there, but I'd lose because the boys are better than me.
Well, you mentioned you shared the ring with some rising stars at the time. What stands out to you when you think about when you fought future champions like Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, etc.?
They're just big, strong boys. Boxing is they live in, and they like levels above me at the end of the day, and I'm not frightened to admit that. You know what I mean?
How did you prepare mentally for a big fight against these highly hyped opponents?
Just thought about how much my missus will be happy when I pay for an holiday for that. I should be off my back for a year.
Keep her sweet. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, exactly, bud.
On the topic of Anthony Joshua, you fought, obviously, I want to mention about the Jake Paul fight. I want to ask you, as a fighter, do you think taking the Jake Paul fight tarnishes his legacy or tarnishes his credibility to pursue becoming a 3-time world champion afterwards?
To be honest with you, but I still don't believe it's going to happen. I can't believe they're going to put the two of them in the same ring together. Like, you know what I mean? It's just farcical. Boxing has turned into fucking WWE rather than boxing now. But it's because of that, things like UFC and bare knuckle are going to take over boxing.
Absolutely. I mean, if it goes past 2-3 rounds, then it's a lose-lose for AJ, really, isn't it?
Yes. Look at AJ done to Ngannou. Look how hard Ngannou is. I mean, massive, man. And AJ knocked him out cold in a fucking second. So what's he going to do to Jake Paul? You know what I mean? Jake Paul is a cruiserweight at the push. Like, I know he weighed like 15 stone odd for Tyson Fury, but he was like fat. You know what I mean? It's fucking stupid. I can't believe it.
What do you make of Jake Paul and the influencers coming over? And obviously, Jake's dedicated himself. He's training like a professional fighter, but he's a novice to the sport, really. What do you make of the fact he's come straight in at the highest level?
Money talks, doesn't it? At the end of the day, he brings money to the sport. Boys want to fight him for the money he brings to the sport, so it is what it is. The boys are happy to fight him for the money. You could see, like, boys, when he fought Tyson, even though Tyson was holding back, like, you know what I mean? He got dropped, I think, or nearly dropped by a UFC guy, and the UFC guy shit himself as if to say, oh, fucking hell, I didn't mean to do that, like, you know what I mean? And just left him alone for the rest of the round. I think it's definitely corrupt.
What I was about to ask you, do you think it's fixed like many people do?
Yeah, I do, 100%.
Do you think the AJ fight will be fixed? Do you think AJ sold out?
I don't know if AJ would discredit himself that much to do it, which is why I cannot see the fight going on. Like, I think something's going to happen. I think it's all going to be like a big thing on Netflix to build up to the fight, and then all of a sudden, boom, the fight's called off. That's what I think.
No, I don't think it'll happen either. I can't see a world where it happens on both parts, really.
No.
Back to yourself, Dorian. What was the toughest challenge you faced in the sport? Physical, mental, or personal?
It's fitting it all in, but to be honest with work and things. But then when you go on the road, you just think it's just a paycheck for you, you know what I mean? It's just another holiday for my missus. So after I lost to Ian Lewis, and like I said, I went down with Chris Davis, started taking it a bit more seriously, like training more and things. I had a bit of a run end, then I lost against Chris Healy again, so then I went back on the road. But like you said, boxing has always been a second to me because my priority has always been my job.
Did your mindset or mentality ever change throughout your career?
Yeah, obviously I was training to win until I lost against Ian Lewison. Then I was just making up the numbers. Then I went through a phase where I was training to win again, and then towards the end, then just making up the numbers again.
Did you find yourself training as hard as you did at the start, or did you sort of?
No, I trained really hard at the start. I trained hard again then when I went down with Chris Davis. But at other times then I'd have a phone call on a Thursday night to fight on the Saturday, and I'd put a can down and turn up on the Saturday and fight. Like, you know what I mean? I know you shouldn't say that perhaps, but that's how it was.
I suppose being heavyweight made it a bit easier because you've not got a weight to make, etc.
No, exactly, yeah.
Who was the toughest opponent or hardest puncher that you faced?
Ian Lewison, without a shadow of doubt.
What made Ian Lewison so good?
He was just fucking. He looked terrible because he liked his fucking pies too much. But I think he's a wasted talent. I do. He was fucking massive puncher, skilled boxer. He just liked his food too much. I think, and didn't like training. I think he could have gone further than what he did.
How disappointing is that to see as a fellow fighter when you see somebody who has got the talent but doesn't put the dedication in? Maybe.
Yeah, everyone's different. And if I'd had that talent, I would have used it better. But he obviously didn't need to. Perhaps his job is better than what than boxing earned him. You know what I mean? I don't know his circumstances, so I couldn't possibly comment on it. But in my opinion, if he'd have dedicated himself more to the sport, he could have gone further than what he went.
Are you still?
But I don't know what's going on in the background.
Yeah. Are you still a fan of the sport now? Do you still watch boxing regularly?
Yeah, I'll be watching boxing tonight now. It's boxing on BBC Two tonight, you know?
There is, yeah. BBC Two, yeah. That's absolutely.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of that guy he's fighting, that TKV, is it? So I'll watch that tonight.
Is there anyone for you that you sort of look at stands out for you at heavyweight? Obviously, as Moses Talma is probably the first one that comes to mind, but anyone else who maybe stands out for you?
Wardley's done well, but he for himself, in all fairness, come from a white collar background, big hard bloke, and he shocked a lot of people, I think. But like you said, I think it would have been no fuss fought Wardley. It's a hard fight to sell, like, you know, which I could see why Usyk give up the belt. Like, I wouldn't have thought there's the money Usk's been used to with the Fury and the Joshua fight that I wouldn't have been there for the Wardley fight. I wouldn't have thought. So why would you risk losing to a fucking big punching up and coming youngster to tarnish your fucking reputation and towards the end of your career?
What does he do next? You know, obviously world champion, undefeated, Alexander Usyk there. You mentioned that he's not going to get the money that he's going to get unless he fights an AJ or a Fury. Is it a Fury third fight? Is it an AJ third fight, or is it anyone else here?
Is there any point in the Fury AJ rematches really, apart from the money? So Fury ranks he's retired again, then AJ's fighting fucking YouTubers. So I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's a crazy world, isn't it, boxing?
Yeah, it is nuts. But
obviously, since you've
like you said, in my opinion, it's turning into wrestling. Like, it's just a fucking show.
Do you look at it and have any disappointment in the sport now?
To be honest with you, but no, the likes, like I'm a big avid boxing fan. I know when you look, like, even over recent times, but now this fucking, since all this misfit fucking boxing and that's coming in, it's just fucking dragging it through the fucking gutter. But you can't argue with the boys who's doing it because they're earning good money and they're not that fucking good boxers. So, like, Jake Paul, he lost to fucking Tommy Fury. Like, Tommy Fury's not even British level boxer. So now he's fighting the fucking heavyweight champion of the world. What the fucking? There's got to be levels, man. No, they're on about safe boxer safety and things. That's not fucking safe. Putting them two in the ring together, man. If Joshua tries his hardest, you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. But since you've hung up your gloves, you've gone into bare knuckle boxing. What's the main difference you found between the two sports?
When I first went over to bare knuckle boxing, it was 2-minute rounds for starters, so I fucking preferred that to 3-minute rounds. But they've changed it now. They got bought out by fucking American firm BYB, but they've changed their name back to BKB. But when they got bought out, they changed over to back to 3-minute rounds. I was fucking tamping, but it is what it is. And
is it now the Trigon as well? Is it?
Yeah, so it doesn't really affect me. The Trigon is beneficial to me, if anything. That is.
What are the differences? Is it a case of because you're a puncher, you're up close, it benefits you, like you say?
Yeah, like if you come up against a boxer who moves about, and it restricts his ability to move about fighting in a triangle, doesn't it, as opposed to a square. And you've got that BKFCN, which you've got a fucking circle, which benefits the boxers even more. So they're all trying to like gain a little edge over each other, so they're a little bit different from each other. I think that's all it's all about.
How much are you enjoying BKB?
I enjoy it, but to be honest, so like back training properly. Like I train more since I've been back doing bare knuckle than I did towards the end of my career. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to lose in bare knuckle, but I've been unlucky with my skin and things, so that's what's fucking happened. But again, it's pointless crying over spilt milk.
Is it
or stitches?
Has it reignited a new fire in you?
It has, but to be honest, though, I wish it was about before, because like it's like no, if I went when I was boxing towards the end, I'd have to fight high level boys, but BKB now is more of my level, if you know what I mean. I think in future, like it has attracted like the likes of Paul Malaji now, the ones towards the end of their career, but I think boys now might go from like amateur boxing straight into BKB rather than boxing. So you'll have them high level boys going into BKB, which in the future I think will happen, and they'll just fucking bypass boxing.
You say you feel like it's obviously potentially going to take over as well with the way the boxing's going. You mentioned, like UFC and BKB are going to take over. Do you feel the growth on BKB has got no ceiling?
Yeah, like it's got the potential to be as big as boxing, and it's fucking exciting to watch. Like I think it's got a 93% fucking stoppage ratio in the fights. It's a bit gory, isn't it? Some people, it's not for some people, you know what I mean. But for people who enjoy fighting, it's two different types of people who like boxing. People who like to watch the boxing and don't mind the 12-round bout, but it's 80% of people watch boxing for the knockout, and BKB provides fucking knockout after knockout.
I think especially in these days with social media and it's all short format, your reels, your TikToks and whatever else, people they want the end to come sooner rather than later, and I think BKB suits that and suits the casual fan in boxing. They may, like say, switch.
That's what I think. BKB. Yeah. So, like, no, all the people who's going to watch this misfit shit, they'll enjoy BKB. No, if BKB got a few like fucking famous people to fight in BKB, you know what I mean? That'll be the same effect as the misfits type of thing. But does a posing fucking model really want to get his face smashed up in BKB? I don't think so.
No, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned earlier, apart from the cuts and I suppose what you can see, it's a very, you mentioned gory, it is in that sense. But in terms of the actual safety aspect, a lot of people say BKB is safer than gloved boxing. What do you think on that?
To be honest, I'm no medical expert, but no, to take a sustained beating with gloves on over 12 rounds rather than just take one shot and get knocked out. I don't know what's better. You know what I mean? I'd rather just take one shot and get knocked out than fucking get punched around for 12 rounds personally, and your brain wobbled for 12 rounds, or cuts and things. But you know what I mean? Cuts are only superficial, and then you're not going to fucking die from a cut.
No, absolutely. You mentioned you get the fires back in you again with BKB, and you're back training and enjoying training again more than at the end of your gloved career. For you, where do you want to take yourself through BKB? Where do you want to get to?
It's just one fight at a time for me now, James. So because of my age, I'm 41, 42 now in April. I've had a bit of bad luck and I'm going to fucking get my arp out and want people to feel sorry for me. But I just want to get a few wins together now, get a positive record and see what happens. I'm 5-5 at the moment, bare knuckle. So I was 12 and 1 boxing, 11 and 2 amateur boxing, and I'm 5-5 bare knuckle. So I want to get more in a positive light and see what happens. If I get a few wins and I have a title shot, I do. If not, I'm not going to cry about it.
For you, is the prospect of retiring and walking away from fighting completely scary, or because it's only a second priority, is it not something that you're too worried about?
Everyone knows that I like a drink and things, James. You know what I mean? So boxing stops me drinking. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do to replace that when I stop training, whether I do more weights and things or what, I don't know. But I got to think of a plan soon.
No, absolutely. Do you feel, as a former glove boxer, you have some advantages over a BKB fighter without the glove boxing background?
No, because like boys who go over to BKB, none of them have never had a fight before. You know what I mean? A lot of them have had amateur experience, but they just haven't gone on the white collar scene because they don't sell tickets. I was lucky that I could sell tickets, so I was able to turn pro, get a few wins under my belt, have a shot at being better than what I was, coming up short. But some boys haven't got that fucking, haven't got the thing that they can sell tickets. So they go on the white collar scene where they only pick up a couple of £100 a fight and things. So no one fights in a BKB ring who haven't boxed before. It's just they haven't had the exposure of people who have boxed as a pro.
Last question, Dorian. If you could give one piece of advice to a young heavyweight starting out today, what would it be and why?
Don't go fighting anyone from Misfits. Stay in the amateurs for as long as you can, up until a point. Like, don't do a Fraser Clark and stay in there till you're fucking 52. But have a good amateur career, turn over and earn as much money as you can and get out early.
How you mentioned about Fraser Clark, and I agree. I feel he stayed amateur a bit too long. I know he wanted that Olympic cycle. He didn't get in beforehand. Yeah. How important is it to get out of the amateur cycle and go and pro at the right time?
I think he's missed the boat, doesn't he, Fraser Clark? He just, like, perhaps that 4-year cycle is it every 4 years the Olympics? I think it is.
It is, yeah.
So if he'd have turned pro 4 years earlier, could he have done a bit better? In my opinion, I don't know him personally, but he seems a bit lackluster now, a bit loose. If he was 4 years younger, would he be a bit better? In my opinion, yes.
Fair enough. Well, Dorian, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
No problem, buddy.